Good everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. And once again, this is Jerry. And in this video ay tatalakayin po natin mga kaibigan ang isa sa mga trending sa ating panahon ngayon. If you have watched news mga kaibigan, ay talagang if you open your eyes of faith mga kaibigan, ay iyong makikita kung ano ngayon ang ginagawa ng ating Pangulo sa napakahaba, matagal na problema ng bansa mga kaibigan. Ito po mga kaibigan ang mangyayari if the CPPNPA will lead our country. If you want to see their ideology when it comes to leading the country, because they always pursue, they always want to overthrow the government, even those who are in the position, especially as a president. Because mga kaibigan, hindi talaga nila matatanggap na kung paano dinadala ng mga presidente ang ating bansa. Because of that, they are making a group that it's not only a small group, but almost all branches of the government now have all those members, and even ang ating Pangulo ngayon mga kaibigan, as what he is doing now to eradicate this CPPNPA, dahil kahit na yung mga nasa pamunuan o yung nasa posisyon ng gobyerno, mas senator man o congressman mga kaibigan, o kahit na yung mga party list, ay talagang mga kaibigan, they are now almost unnumbered, those who are in the possession, because almost all of them, even as what the president is doing now to lessen those, even those any leaders of the government in any position po, pag sila ay sangkot mga kaibigan sa CPPNPA, ay talagang tinutugis sila mga kaibigan. Hindi lamang yun, even their accounts are being freeze now, because as what we know, that even them who are in the position are supporting this CPPNPA mga kaibigan. Sison said that there are 3 processes when he made mga kaibigan this CPPNPA, even in DF. Hindi lamang po mga military forces yung kanyang recruit mga kaibigan, and even those who are in the legal position, those who are in the government, the Bayan Muna, the Kilusang Mayo Ono, and many other party lists, even ACT teachers, these are all, even they are party lists and they are part of the running of the government, but they are in the position of the CPPNPA in a different perspective mga kaibigan. So when this happening, when I was watching this issue of the government, I am so happy, because since the time I was small mga kaibigan, ay talagang andun na yan ang mga problema na kung saan bakit hindi talaga ma-overthrow itong CPPNPA, kahit na maliit lang sila na grupo mga kaibigan, ay dahil hindi lamang yung mga military forces yung nakikita natin na oposisyon sa government, kahit na yung mga nasa position po mga kaibigan, ay talagang gumagawa sila ng napakaraming mga activism, kahit ba yung mga napakaraming mga opposition kahit na yung ginagawa ng government ay talagang para sa kabubuti ng lahat, mga kaibigan. Pero bakit hindi ma-eradicate talaga ito? Kasi yung nasa position, ika nga, we are so happy now because our president is really working so hard for the benefits, for the good of everyone, for the good of Filipino people, or for the good of the country, mga kaibigan. But still, this getting bigger group, mga kaibigan, na yung CPPNPA, na kahit na nga sila, mga kaibigan, mayroon silang mga galamay sa mga government o sa gobyerno o sa mga posisyon ng gobyerno, mga kaibigan. Kaya I always wonder, mga kaibigan, kung bakit hindi ma-eradicate ito. At we are so happy because we have that president. But before President Duterte sit on his position as a president, talagang before that, sabi ko sa sarili ko, mga kaibigan, that talagang ang ginagawa nila ngayon, mga kaibigan, is they are, even before, mga kaibigan, ginagawa nila. And I was thinking that probably this is a business. War is the business, mga kaibigan, na kung saan ginagamit ng mga politiko ang CPPNPA nang sa ganun na kung sila ay gustong magiging mabango po sa tao, ay talagang tinutugis nila yun. But if they want to be, if they are in the position or they are in that position, then they stop chasing them, mga kaibigan. And that is why it is getting bigger and bigger, and even those who are in the position, it's really hard now, mga kaibigan, na kung wala yung presidente natin ngayon, ay talagang, I don't know if this would be solved, mga kaibigan. And even, mga kaibigan, ang human rights, I am doubting kung ano talaga itong human rights, mga kaibigan. Because for me, para bang itong human rights nito ay talagang para ito sa mga gumagawa ng krimen, mga kaibigan. Ang human rights para bang isa itong protector ng kahit na anong mga krimen ang ginagawa ng tao, ay andyan sila upang sila ay poproteksyonan at sila ay maka-avail ng rights nila. Pero yung mga biktima po, mga kaibigan, parang wala yatang human rights na nangyayari. Walang, o yung Commission on Human Rights ay hindi dumidi pa sa mga victims po. Pero po yung mga masasama ang tinutugis ay talagang, mga kaibigan, ang human rights ay dumidi pa po. Seems that they are protecting those people who commit crimes than protecting those victims. But for me, it's not new, mga kaibigan. Kung titingnan nyo po yung human rights, it seems that even in the dark ages po, mga kaibigan, in the year 538 AD until 1798 AD, yun yung kasagsagan po ng napakaraming pinapatay, mga kaibigan, sa harapan ng tao. Yung ang tao ay was burned at stake in front of the people, mga kaibigan, na yung state ay yung gumagawa ng pag-burn po ng mga, they call it heretics. Pero, mga kaibigan, wala pong human rights na dumidi pa para sa kanila. Because, mga kaibigan, in my own understanding, ang human rights po ay para sa mga gumagawa ng krimen, hindi yung sa mga biktima po ng krimen, mga kaibigan. Kaya, it's not new for me, mga kaibigan. There are 50 million people who died during the Dark Ages, and no human rights was really protecting them. And of course, mga kaibigan, here comes the CPPNPA, and they want to overthrow the government. They want to change the government. They want to change those who are in the position because they don't like them. They don't like the government, mga kaibigan. So what they are doing, they are really creeping in all parts of the branches of the government, just to, of course, if one of the members of the CPPNPA, if they are, mga kaibigan, in the position, and if they are many in every branch of the government, then all their dogmas will be realized. And what's happening in our time now is that when the President Duterte is done with some other problems of the country, and now he is giving of the solution to one of the problems of the country, the long been problem of the country, because even President Duterte is seeing now what this group is doing in the country, mga kaibigan. In what he's doing now, the representatives, some other names that he has mentioned in his speech, mga kaibigan, and those who are, of course, connected to the CPPNPA. And friends, you can really see that this is really good. Because even though, mga kaibigan, hindi gusto ng CPPNPA ang pamamalakad ng kahit na sinong leader sa bansa, kahit na, mga kaibigan, that they see that it's not good, the leader runs the country like hell, mga kaibigan. But even though that happens, mga kaibigan, itong mga rebels na ito, mga kaibigan, I do believe na kung gusto nilang want to change the way the government is running, gusto nilang sila yung magra-run ng government. But friends, we have to remember that we are fallen human. Kahit na gusto mo, kahit nga nakikita mo, mga kaibigan, ang mga problema noong nakaupo sa posisyon, at gusto mo kung sino yung ilalagay mo dyan, doon sa posisyon na yun. But because we are fallen human, the perfection that we are longing for, mga kaibigan, even though you yourself who are in the position and who wants, you are the one who want to change the government, you want to sit in the position as a president, but still, even though what you are thinking now, the best for the good of everyone of the country, but there's a time, mga kaibigan, that you will be misled also. When I was watching the news about how the president is planning to overthrow those who are connected with the CPPNPA, and he wants to disconnect, he wants to freeze all their accounts, because even though they have those support from the government, but they are using it to support the CPPNPA, mga kaibigan. When I was watching this issue, mga kaibigan, and I see how they want to overthrow the government, even the CPPNPA, when I was small, mga kaibigan, gusto nilang, they want to change the government, they want to change those who they want to sit in that position. But, mga kaibigan, this is not new for me. Even in heaven, mga kaibigan. Friends, these rebellious, or these rebels who have been doing many things to overthrow the government, is not new for me. Because in heaven, mga kaibigan, in heaven there was war. In that perfect world, wherein there was no sin, mga kaibigan, there was no sign, there was nothing that could see bad things in that place. And God made all, even the angels, they are created having the character of God. But still, mga kaibigan, there is an angel who wanted to overthrow God's government, because he wanted to change the way God runs the universe. He was doubting of how God deals his creature. He was doubting of how God made the law, and he wanted to change the law. He wanted to have no law, mga kaibigan. He was also, as what the rebels, the CPPNPA was doing, that they are very organized, mga kaibigan, that they are creeping in the government, in all the branches of the government, even putting their members in there. But still, mga kaibigan, and of course they are getting bigger and bigger, just someday somehow they could be the one who will lead the country. And mga kaibigan, of course, Satan was also doing that one. Though God saw that Satan is stepping away from what he had been, but still, mga kaibigan, God always warned him of what he is leading into. Because God knows that what he was leading is really for his destruction and for the destruction of the harmony in heaven, mga kaibigan. But Satan really did not accept God's warning for him, mga kaibigan. And he was also creeping those angels in the position because he was putting doubts in their minds about how God was governing the universe, even all the angels, and even whatever they could see and they could not. But still, mga kaibigan, God is giving him the chance to return back to where he had been. But Satan was really true to his mission to overthrow God's government. And of course, there was 1/3 of the population of the angels of heaven that he deceived, and 1/3 of those angels fought against God, mga kaibigan, because they wanted to change the government, they wanted to change the law, they wanted to change who was in that position. But friends, of course, God, in his infinite love for him, and even for of course, those he misled, but God had to make a decision, not only for the goodness of Satan and those with him, but also, mga kaibigan, for the benefits of those 2/3. And of course, mga kaibigan, those are the faithful angels. God, when made a decision, it's not only for one group or the other. It's for everyone. When God overthrew Satan, who wanted to overthrow him, God made a decision that Satan and his fallen angels should be cast out from heaven. It's not only for him whom God saw that when Satan would still be in heaven, it's like a torture for him, because he didn't want to have that harmony of how God is dealing with his creature, his creation, his faithful angels, mga kaibigan. And when God overthrows Satan, it's for the ultimate good of him. Nang sa ganoon, mga kaibigan, kung para sa kanya, kung si Satan, mga kaibigan, ay mananatili sa heaven, talagang parang tinotorture siya, dahil ang harmony po ng mga faithful angels doon, they are serving God faithfully, mga kaibigan. They trust God. They are obeying God's commandments. At kung andun si Satan, ay talagang palagi siya, mga kaibigan, na para bang nag-overcome siya kung ano yung galit o ano yung gusto niyang mangyari, mga kaibigan. And that is like torture for him. So he had to be overthrown. He had to be taken out of heaven. And that is not only for Satan and his fallen angels, but also for the faithful angels, mga kaibigan. Because God also still protecting the faithful angels, that they are still faithful to God. They are still obeying God's commandments. They are still trusting God. They are serving God day and night. And they have to be protected from Satan's deception. And of course, mga kaibigan, when Satan was cast out of heaven and he came to this earth, what he had been doing in heaven, he continues to do it on this earth. And still, mga kaibigan, ang punto is still to overthrow God's government, to change God's law, to change the way God leads his creation, to change how God leads the universe, mga kaibigan. And he wanted to change God's government. He wanted to change everything, mga kaibigan. And he has still been doing what he started in heaven. He wants to overthrow God's government. He wants to overthrow God who is in the position. He wants to change everything. He promises even to the fallen angels that when he leads the universe, it would be different. But God allowed Satan to see the whole universe when he deceived the fallen angels, when Satan, as what he has promised, that when he leads the whole universe, everything would be changed. And look at this one, mga kaibigan. If you can see, kung nakikita po ninyo ang sanlibutan mula nung time na na-fall, when Adam and Eve fell into sin, then that would be the starting point when what happened when Satan promised the faithful angels and even the fallen angels that when he leads the whole universe, it would be different. And of course, mga kaibigan, God allows Satan that all his promises and even all his dealing and everything that he plans for the whole universe, that he wanted to change. He wanted to overthrow the government of God, and everything would be different. And the result of what he has started, mga kaibigan, he had started in heaven. What he started in heaven, and you can see, and the whole universe, even the fallen angels, whom he deceived, and even the faithful angels, whom he wanted to deceive, mga kaibigan, and the whole universe could see that when Satan, mga kaibigan, ay magli-lead ng universe as what he has promised, everything would be different. And of course, look at the world. Kung ano yung resulta, mga kaibigan, ng kanyang ginagawa, ng kanyang pinaplano, ng kanyang gustong i-overthrow ang pamamaraan ng Diyos. And now we can see what the result of what he has taken. And of course, mga kaibigan, when God comes back, when Jesus comes back the second time, everyone could see. If you choose God's way, if you choose God and you choose Satan, of course, everyone could have that decision which on who we want to be led, mga kaibigan. So kung nakita po ninyo ngayon sa ating panahon, ang CPPNPA po ay gusto nilang i-overthrow ang government ng Pilipinas. Yung kung sino yung nakaupo sa pwesto. Dahil gusto po nila, mga kaibigan, na i-change yung, siguro gusto rin nilang i-change yung mga batas, i-change yung pamaraan ng government, i-change na kung sino yung gusto nilang iupo doon. Pero mga kaibigan, we could really see if the spirit of rebellion is in the heart, then the result, mga kaibigan, ay hindi talaga mabuti yan, mga. When David was chased by King Saul, because King Saul pride was really touched, because he didn't want David to change in his position. He didn't want David to be the king of Israel, and he wanted to kill David, mga kaibigan. But David, even though he had that chance to kill Saul, King Saul, in the cave, and even he cut King Saul's dress garments to see to King Saul that he was having that chance to kill him. But David told them that he could not kill King Saul because God anointed him to be the king of Israel. Only God could overthrow those who are in the position. Friends, kahit na ano po yung kasamaan yung nakikita natin sa gobyerno, but we have to know that God allowed them to be in that position. We have to remember that the president is doing to implement God's government, the Ten Commandments, mga kaibigan. Yung mga batas natin, mga kaibigan, ay nakatapik, naka-ukit yan. It is connected to God's government, the Ten Commandments. That's why even though, mga kaibigan, na siya ay masasama, but when God appointed him, though he is wicked as what we can see in what he has been doing, he is doing, mga kaibigan, but we have to know, just like David, I could not be able to kill King Saul because God anointed him to be the king of Israel. Friends, though we have to know this, if we have that rebellious spirit, we have that spirit of rebellion in our hearts, even though we could see that what we are planning for that to be changed, for that thing to be changed, but if it is in the spirit of rebellion, hindi po talaga yan mabubuti, mga kaibigan. And of course, what the president is doing now is really wonderful, and I'm really happy because probably now this very long dilemma of the country would probably be eradicated, and there would probably be in harmony, even just in the Philippines, mga kaibigan. Though we are living the last days, mga kaibigan, but still we are longing, we are praying for the harmony to where we live in, mga kaibigan. Though we are living in the last days, that Jesus is coming soon, that we could see all the wickedness in this world, even in our country, but still, mga kaibigan, God is not withdrawing His Spirit. Though He is withdrawing His Spirit now, but still, andyan pa po yung Espiritu, mga kaibigan. Ang banal na Espiritu na kung saan, yun po ang mag-change sa heart natin, sa puso natin, mga kaibigan. At pag mayroon po tayong presidente na nakapoupo doon, kahit hindi po siya perfect, but we have to know, we don't have, though it's necessary that sometimes we react because what he has been doing is not good, but still, mga kaibigan, we have that spirit like David, that we could say, Lord, please, we have to pray for our president, those who are in the position of the government, na kung saan we have that spirit also, just like David, that we could say, I could not have that right to kill King Saul because God anointed him to be the king of Israel. Friends, hopefully that what we are talking, what we are discussing now, helps us to ponder this thing. And may the Lord bless us all. And this would help us to get closer to Him. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye, everyone.